aka the Nimble Sex Symbol. And I'm joined by my lovely co-host, always on her feet, sweet like dead meat, the lovely
Crystal Iris, the boss extraordinaire. What's up,
aka.
y'all?
You gotta get some more
AKA the finer woman of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. Okay, Z Phi. Welcome everybody to the show, to the To Be Honest show, where we discuss real, raw, and honest conversations about dating and relationships, and sometimes some other stuff. So, in lieu of all of the drama with the celebrities that we are having lately, um, lots of like lies are going around. You know, we got the R. Kelly stuff. I really feel like he's definitely lying. Jussie Smollett, we know he's definitely lying.
Yeah.
And then we had Jordan, I forget her last name, Jordan something. The Kardashians and that whole situation that's been going around. So then, in lieu of those,
and then they had the Michael Jackson documentary.
Yeah, and then the Michael Jackson documentary recently.
I can't watch that right now.
I refuse to watch it. So in lieu of those, you know, the lies and things that we have been experiencing in the media lately, we wanted to talk about the big F word, and that F word is forgiveness.
Farting. Oh. Forgiveness.
Yeah. It's not, you're so gross. The F word that we're discussing today is forgiveness. So, and I've personally been going through some things too with my mother's side of the family too. So I think this is actually a very timely conversation to have. Hopefully, some of our family members are tuning into the show because we need to have this open and honest, real, raw conversation about healing. And about, I think it cut off.
I turned the speaker off.
Oh, okay. Okay. Sorry. Real raw and open and honest conversations about forgiveness and healing. So before we get into that though, Jay is going to start with some current events.
Basically, R. Kelly had an interview yesterday with Gayle King, and told his side of the story. He went to protest his innocence, and he even got up, pointed at the cameras. The funniest thing about the interview, he said, "Is this thing on?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's the way it works."
He's like, "Are these cameras on me?"
And so he actually did a better acting job than Jussie Smollett. So,
you know what? I was thinking that it was funny but not funny, okay, because he was very emotional and passionate about what he was stating. And if for people who really love R. Kelly, that his emotional expressions that he had on the show really could have convinced his fan base that, you know, look, we riding with R. Kelly, we believe him and things like that. But you know what? Gayle King asked him one question. She asked, "Have you ever slept with a female under the age of 17? And he said no.
Right.
He said no. She said never. He said no, never. That's okay. Come on now. We at least know one. Right. We know one.
But you remember the last time they asked him that on BET? My man was like, "So define underage." I was like, "Oh, you idiot." But he was very emotional, very passionate. He said he's fighting for his life.
Yeah, he is.
He is fighting to keep his rectum intact. That's what he's fighting for because he's going to jail.
Yeah. Leon Rogers today on WGCI, they were of course discussing it, and Leon was saying, "You know what?" He was like, "Yeah, he's fighting for his life, like." You've been, you know, you have gotten away with it for so long, and now, you really need to fight for your life for real because they got you wrapped up, bro. Yeah. Like you kind of messed up right now.
People are like, why they don't go? They're going after him hard.
Yeah, they are.
The city has been taking L's for a minute now, and they gotta get somebody locked up, and it just so happened as that guy. Yes, Harvey Weinstein belongs in jail. Yes, anybody else, white, black, whatever, who's been a predator, but it's like they're going at him extra hard. They're trying to make an example out of him.
Yeah.
And a black man in general. So
yeah.
Those black celebrities think that you're above the law. They don't give a damn about you.
So. Okay, so let me ask you this question real quick before we go into our topic. So do you feel, because a lot of people are feeling, you know, we just came out of Black History Month and now we're in Women's History Month and things like that. So do you feel, though, that there is, that media is spotlighting more Black lies more so now than they are any other race?
It seems like they are caring more about making sure Black celebrities go down. It's like they're going out of their way to do some of the stuff. And not to say that these people are like 100% innocent, but they're just making sure that they go down, and they do everything they can to make them go down.
Yeah. So, it do kind of make you think, though, that like there is an attack. I mean, right now, you know, now
we've always, as an African American, we're on two different playing fields. Yeah, and people need to understand that. It's like the stuff. Like, I remember Chris Rock had said something like, on his block, it's like him, Mary J. Blige, Jay-Z, and a white dentist. And it's like, for them to live where they live, they had to be beyond great. Yeah. Before a white dentist to live where they live, it wasn't that hard to do. He's like, if I was a Black dentist to live on that block, I would have had to invent teeth. That's the only way out. So we always be on two different playing fields. Yeah. And so the brunt of the law is coming against him right now, and they're doing everything they can to get this guy locked up forever.
So then the question is, how come they're not adding that same energy towards the counterparts?
Hold on 1 second. Somebody said something foolish. All right. He innocent. Them girls did leave and go. If we. I mean, I'm not gonna tell.
What he say?
Somebody said he's innocent or whatever. Them girls can come and go as you please. That's not the only charge they got him on. They got him on having sex with a 14-year-old person. So yes, maybe those girls can go and come as they please. But if they have a tape with him telling a 14-year-old to call him daddy, and her saying that I'm 14 years old and you want this, that's what he's going to jail for. I don't care. Like, the fact he's not going to jail for holding them hostage, because they're not hostages. They can go and come as they please, like you said. But he's sleeping with a 14-year-old, and that's what some people need to understand.
Yeah, and the other thing too is that when you brainwash somebody, like, you're brainwashing them. You don't have to hold them hostage. Like, they do that, you know, as a result of being brainwashed. So it's already, you know, in them like that. So, do I believe R. Kelly? No.
She said, I hope he gets out there. So would you, I don't know if you have kids or not, would you let your daughter go to the R. Kelly all girls camp for teenage girls music camp? Would you let your daughter go to that? They can't. No, it's not double. You got to understand what double jeopardy is. It's the same crime, but this is a different case, Denise. This is a different girl. So it's not double jeopardy. So it's a whole new tape. They don't accidentally put you, the feds don't accidentally come and arrest you. It's like they have something on him. Yeah. So the hostage stuff is probably not going to stick. But if they have him on tape, like the first tape that they had saying that he's peeing on a girl, he's going to jail. Mm-hmm. Yep. She didn't answer my question. Would you let your daughter go to R. Kelly camp of music? Anyway.
Okay. So again, everybody, we are talking about forgiveness. So, and we are right now talking about R. Kelly's interview with Gayle King yesterday. If we believe R. Kelly or not, R. Kelly, Gayle King asked him one question: have you ever slept with a underage girl, 17 or under? And he said, no, never. That's a lie, because we at least know one. We at least know Aaliyah. If nothing else is a lie, we know that Aaliyah, him marrying Aaliyah was the truth. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, that was a lie. So when you do that, so when you do that and you lie, you know, how do you expect people to to believe anything else you say when she asks you one question and you lie about that.
Yeah.
So let's go segue into our topic for tonight, and we're talking about forgiveness. If you'd like to join in on the conversation, our phone number is 708-223-8953. Please like our videos and share them out so we can join in on the conversation. Make sure you tag Jay and I. So Jay, okay, so in lieu of the conversation about lies and things like that in the media with our Black men, do you feel like somebody like R. Kelly can be forgiven?
I mean, it's not up to me to forgive him. That's up to God to forgive him at the end of the day. Whether or not, and it's like I saw, like they said, some of the victims still, or alleged victims, still hang out with him. Like the girl from the first tape is still hanging around him. So obviously he hasn't hurt her in a way, or she doesn't feel hurt, so to speak. So I mean, who's to forgive him? The man he was on TV and said, these parents sold their daughters to me. I don't know if he realizes that he shouldn't have said that, but
did he say that?
Yeah, he's like, these parents sold their daughters to me, and they mad because they ain't getting no more money. And then the girls went on TV and said the same thing, that the parents are money hungry. I don't think he just should have said the parents sold them. He was emotional, and that came out horribly wrong. And they probably going to use that.
Wait, did he say this in the interview?
He said it in the interview.
Gayle King interview?
Yes, he said the parents sold their daughters to me. So I'm like, he should have said
I didn't see that part.
Yeah.
Wowzers.
Yeah, so that's human trafficking. I don't know if he knows that. But
wow.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Okay, so what is forgiveness then, Jay?
Forgiveness is I guess closing the chapter on something. Whatever somebody has done wrong to you, you forgive them. You say, hey, you know what? I can get over this. I can move past it. I have to close this chapter in my life. I'm gonna forgive you, no matter what it is. I'm gonna go move past this. That's what it is to me. What about you?
I think it's releasing. I think it is moving on, but it's just releasing the emotional attachment to something, to an event, to an occurrence. That's what I would say it is. Like the emotional attachment. Like you can you just release it. You find peace within the situation. I think that's forgiveness. If it's somebody that you need to forgive, then I think that's a matter of releasing that emotion, but also at least where you can be cordial. You don't have to be their best friend or anything like that, but you can keep them at a distance and say, hey, I hope you don't die today. You know what I mean?
I just got to the point where I'm like, let me squash some of this stuff. It took me 30 plus years. I hold a grudge. Like, I mean, and I know it sounds bad, and I know I was going to say this, but I've been known to hold grudge. I still got a grudge against a few people, like this 20 years old. I'm like, if I found out they got hit by a bus today, I would not lose any sleep over it. That's just what it is. I know that's bad to say, but it is what it is. Do I want them to get hit by a bus? No. But
if they did, would you call the ambulance or?
Oh, no. No. I got an iPhone. They don't work in cold weather.
Oh my gosh, you're horrible.
Good luck, brother.
Wow.
But
so how do you forgive?
You got to talk to the person. You have to have open conversation. You got to listen to their point of view, and you just have to have an open mind to it. But conversation has to happen at some point.
Yes. A conversation has to take place.
Because a lot of times it might be a misunderstanding. It might be I interpreted something wrong, or you interpreted something wrong.
Right.
But you got to have a conversation. And that'll be that.
Yeah. Sometimes we have we're angry at people and they don't even know that we angry at them.
Yeah.
They like, what are you talking about? I thought we was cool. No, we not cool.
Right. Have you ever gotten to an accidental text message argument because somebody interpreted what you sent them the wrong way? And it's like I gotta call this person before we be fighting.
Right.
When we run into each other.
Yeah.
It's like that. So
you said you just now come like 30 plus years. you just now coming into a time where you like, okay, let me release some of this stuff. Like, how did you get to that point?
It's just like, cause it's like I didn't want people rolling up on me and like, yo, remember when it happened? Like, I didn't want that to happen. And it wasn't like I did something wrong to them. I wanted to clear the air. Like, I was in a good spot in my life. I'm in a good spot in my life now.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, why should I be angry at anybody? Or why should anybody be angry with me?
Yeah.
So like, every beef that I had, I like ended it. And I reached out to the person like, hey, I got no issue with you. If you got an issue with me, I'm sorry. It is what it is. If you still want to have an issue with me, I don't know what to tell you. I said I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. That's big. That's a big move. A lot of people don't realize that. So was there like any type of like feelings that you felt like what? Because sometimes out of sight is out of mind. If you don't talk to that person, you don't see that person, like you just like, okay, whatever.
I looked at it as if this, like, a lot of times it's a lesson to be learned. And like, I'm like, God probably put this person in my life to teach me a lesson as far as like trust and building relationships with people. And so this was a lesson learned. And so that's the way I looked at it. I'm like, you know what? This was supposed to happen. Yeah. Like this person was supposed to reveal who they really was, and I can move on past it. And it's like, it's no need to hold a grudge. I just don't have to deal with that person no more. And that's it. You don't have to hold a grudge. You just don't have to deal with the person, and you can move on. Yeah.
I like that you said that, about the lessons, because I talk about that, and it's in my book, The Boss at Breakthrough. Okay. It's in The Boss at Breakthrough, where I talk about forgiveness and how everything in your life happens for a reason. So even the conflicts, like when we are in conflict with somebody, or we have this, these negative emotions or something like that that's attached to a person or an occurrence or whatever the case is, there's a lesson in that. And if we can kind of step away from the emotional side and just look at it from like a third perspective, that's some deep stuff. I feel like is really deep, and you have to be in a place where you know yourself enough to be able to do that. Yeah. You got to have some self-awareness.
Yeah, you have to know, like, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't have said that last stuff. Like, have you ever been in a situation where the argument escalated and it's because you said something, and if you just go back and reflect, you're like, if I wouldn't have said that last thing, we could have both walked out.
I bet you got in trouble a lot for that, because you and this mouth of yours.
I keep going. Like, I don't care. Like, I will purposely say something just so you can remember the last thing I said, and just so you can hold on to it. So
is that to hurt them?
Yeah. Oh yeah, you can hold on to this, and I'm walk away. I don't physically hurt nobody, but like, yeah, you can hold on. You're gonna remember these last 4 words that I say to you.
So mean. But sometimes hurt people, right? If somebody hurts you, sometimes we feel like we gotta hurt somebody else.
You don't have to get violent. You can just use your words.
Yeah. Sometimes we feel like we gotta hurt somebody else. Huh?
First, you said double jeopardy.
Oh.
I'm like, do you know what that means? And then she said, I know what it is. No, you don't, because it's not double jeopardy. It's just like, I keep looking down and seeing it. Like, people just like, oh my God.
She just saw the movie Double Jeopardy.
Yeah. And I'm like, it's a totally different girl. What are you talking about?
It's okay. Yeah. We don't always know the law.
See, well, shut up. Like, why are you commenting and using phrases that you have no clue what they mean? Just to win an argument. Just to win a Facebook argument.
Well, she's an R. Kelly fan. Clearly.
Something wrong with it.
Some people protect R. Kelly. We have people that, just like you love Michael Jackson. Yeah, you're not watching that documentary because if they tell you something about Michael Jackson that you don't like.
I would listen to that's the main difference is he can't defend himself. Yeah. And I would listen if he was alive. Yes, I would watch the documentary. But like you that's basically said somebody can say, come back and talk crap about Martin Luther King. Yeah. So it's like that gives. We got it. Yeah, that gives you the opening to talk crap about anybody that's dead because they can't defend themselves.
Yeah. So, I don't think, you know what? I agree with you. I don't think that they should have done this type of documentary while he's not alive. I don't think that's fair.
It's not fair. And it's just like you doing it, it's like just to get ratings or whatever. You got two people. And the thing that really made me not want to watch it, that I don't know who if you know Corey Feldman. He was in the Goonies. He was a 80s child star. You probably know him if you've seen him.
I'm not good with names.
But all before like this, he was the first one to speak up about pedophilia in Hollywood. And people looking at him like he's crazy. Because he had another childhood star named Corey Haim. The two Corey, they was in movies together. He ended up killing himself. They both had drug problems, but he ended up killing himself. And that's what made him come out and talk about pedophilia in Hollywood. And so people thought he was like, oh, don't say that. What's wrong with you? He was close with Michael Jackson. He used to he was hanging out with Michael Jackson and everything. He went on Twitter and said, I've hung out with Michael Jackson when I was a kid. I was 13 years old. I was there. I never felt uncomfortable. He never talked about sex around me. He never cursed around me. He even knew one of the guys from the documentary or whatever. And they became like, he's like the guy dated like a cousin or something. But it's like, he never like, it's one thing if he felt comfortable, like yeah, Mike said this one time, but for him to already speak up against pedophilia,
and have nothing to say,
and nothing to say, like that's I'm like, okay, I can believe him because he has nothing to hide. Like, there's no reason for him to lie.
Yeah. I think they should have just kind of left that alone.
Yeah.
Y'all should have been
Let's
talking
pick on
about
people
that
that's
a long
alive.
time
Pick
ago.
on the Catholic Church, but that's not gonna happen. That's never gonna happen.
Why?
The Catholic Church is too powerful. They're too powerful.
Well, okay, so they started talking about it.
That like for them to do a real documentary, and when I say real, like in the R. Kelly documentary, they got like his manager, like people who close to him.
Yes. Like
they will never get anyone like in high power in the Vatican to talk about that. It'll never happen. They'll get murdered. So it won't. They like you. Yes, it is some documentaries about individual stories about kids, but nobody's listening to it.
Yeah,
and that's just, I mean, it's sad, but it is what it is.
Okay, so going back to our topic of forgiveness, if you would like to join in on the conversation, join us. You can call in 708-223-8953 or leave your comments. Make sure you're liking our videos and share them, and make sure you tag Jay and I. Okay, thank you. So back to our topic, Jay. What do you do when people don't apologize? Like, have you ever been in that situation where somebody had done something to you and they never apologized for it? Like, how do you?
I just keep it moving. Like, at the end of the day, I mean, you can't force people. Like, when you force an apology, it's not real. Like, whenever you ever see like a celebrity say something stupid and they're about to lose sponsors and they make them apologize, it's not real because they said it from the heart. Like, you remember Don Imus said nappy headed hoes? Like, why are you apologizing? That's what you meant. Like, he meant that. Every time somebody says something racist, that's exactly what they meant to say. It wasn't no accident.
It's an accident. It slipped out.
Yeah,
right. I didn't mean to say it on this platform.
They thought it was cool to say. So sometimes the apology is BS.
Okay, so what if you wanted to have an apology? Okay, so have you ever been in a situation where somebody hurt you and you wanted them to apologize and they did not?
Yeah, I have. And I kept it moving. I'm like, you know what? Karma's a beat. And it is something, whatever's supposed to happen, it was going to happen to them. But it is what it is. Like, people are people.
Yeah. I know a few years back, I had done a Hey Girl Speak a Life show about forgiveness. And I had called in some powerful women that I know, my mom being one. My friend, my mentor, and a friend's mother was there, and they were trying to help me through a situation. So some of you know, Jay knows that I was sexually assaulted in college, and it took me a while to come to terms with it because it was a boyfriend at the time. And when I finally came to to a point where I was like, okay, I'm just want to release this and get rid of it or whatever. I called them in and I asked them, we had this conversation on forgiveness. And I went to him first and I said, hey, I confronted him about the situation and I wanted to have an open and honest conversation with him about it. And he was so nervous that I was trying to get him locked up that he was like, wait, what you trying to say? No, first of all, we was drunk. And first of all, this and that. And, all of that. So are you trying to get me locked up or no, this and stuff? And I'm like, I'm just looking for an apology. Like, that this is what happened. This is what occurred. Just give me my apology. And he would not do it.
Wow.
And I think his fear was that if he admitted to it, that if he apologized, that would be admitting that this happened. And
yeah, he was wrong for doing it.
Yeah, and I don't think he wanted to do that because he didn't know what was on the other side of that.
Yeah.
And so to this day, I never had it, and I struggled with that because I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, I'm the one that got to go through this. I still have, to this day, I still have some trauma from it, physical trauma from it. You know what I'm saying? And so I have to live with that. And you mean to tell me that you can't just say, I'm sorry? Give me something. And he couldn't do that. So I had this gathering with the women and they were like, my mom was pissed. And she was like, you know what? Forgiveness is not for you. You don't have to forgive him. Good forgiveness is for God to do. That's God's business. So similar to what you said about R. Kelly. I'm not the one that got to forgive him. God got to forgive him.
Nathan said, the thing said he's a punk and didn't want no consequences.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So, so that was difficult. And I struggled with that because I'm like, I need something to help me to get through this, but he couldn't give me anything. One of the women that were with me talked about being stood up at the altar by her fiance, had a wedding, went to the wedding, she thinking he in the building somewhere, and he ain't in sight.
Wow.
Stood her up. And she had to talk about how she has to release that emotional attachment.
Do you still be in a relationship or the relationship over with?
Was I?
No. If you get stood up at the altar, were they still in the relationship or it was
well, of course she was with that relationship. I think he ended up being like locked up or something.
That's why he didn't make it, or
yeah, that's why he wasn't. He didn't make it. He wasn't there. So it was some weird situation, but forgiveness to me is just releasing that, and I had to do my own work. And what I found out was that the forgiveness wasn't necessarily for him, but within this process, I blamed a lot of this on myself, and so I had to learn how to forgive Crystal. Crystal, like literally in the mirror, like, Crystal, I'm sorry for ever thinking that this was your fault. I'm sorry that that maybe you did put yourself in an uncompromising situation, because there was some responsibility on my part as far as taking care of Crystal. But I allowed myself to be in a position where I trusted somebody more to take care of me than I trusted myself. Does that make sense? Yeah. So I forgave myself. I had to forgive myself for that. And for holding it, because that's it. Like I feel like when you are in pain and you want to forgive people, there's or you haven't forgive people, like it does something to your body. Like, don't you ever feel like that like that harshness in your chest or something? Like, it's just heavy. You got to get rid of it. So
they said he didn't deserve you anyway.
You right. Okay. So even that, as we were talking about lessons, even in that situation, yes, it was hurtful. Yes, it was painful, traumatizing. But there was a lesson in it. Had I not gone through that, I wouldn't be able to talk to hundreds of girls, wouldn't be able to talk to hundreds of women. I wouldn't have Boss Ed Academy, wouldn't have Hey Girl, wouldn't have none of the stuff that I do. I wouldn't have a platform to talk about these things so I can prevent others from going through it.
Right.
So there is a lesson in it. Sorry, got a little DJ. So yeah. So what are your thoughts on that? Like, have you ever been in a situation where you felt like you had to forgive yourself more than the other person?
No, I always reflect. Like whenever it's a situation, I sit back. I might wait a day or two, and I'm like, okay, what did I do wrong? I do a self evaluation.
Good.
Like, what could I have done differently? And if I sit there and be like, you know what, this person, it's their fault. It's like 100% their fault. Yeah. And then that's it. That's what I base it off of. But like, yeah, I mean, I don't have to. I never like really. I don't regret anything.
Right.
So that's probably why.
Yeah.
So, hey, Thea.
Rosa, hey Soror, she says, after the end of my marriage, forgiving myself was very liberating, and it allows me to speak about the physical and emotional abuse I experienced. Yeah. And that's true, because for me, it took me a while. Like, I had Hey Girl for like 2-3 years before I even told the girls why I started the organization. Like, they knew that I was able to relate to them in some kind of way, but they didn't know. I had not. It was easy for them to come to me and just spread, just lay it all out on the floor. Crystal, look, this what happened, this what went down, giving me details after details. But when it came to me sharing my story openly and honestly, I was like, like, I was just not saying it. And I think it was a lot because of the image that I had and the image that my family had. And I didn't want to put my family in a situation where they would be shamed. Right. That was my thought process. So,
Thea, we're talking about forgiveness, Thea. When has a time that you had to forgive someone, and how did you forgive that person? And did you forgive yourself first?
Yep. If you would like to call in, the phone number 708-223-8953. So you guys can feel free to chime in with us.
So, what sets the standards for forgiveness to you?
Sometimes people say biblical. I'm not really into the Bible like that. However, I am a very spiritual person, and so when I ask God to kind of walk me through something, help me to reveal something, I think that is what sets the standard for me when I feel like I need to forgive somebody. If it's something that won't leave me alone, for women, we are very intuitive. And I would get like a pit, like this little sick feeling in my stomach. My chest might be heavy. Things start happening in my body. Like, I might get some pain or cramps in my neck and my shoulders. So I would have pains like that would set the standard for like, okay, Crystal, you need to forgive somebody.
That's true.
What you laughing at? Because I ain't saying nothing funny.
I said nice rack.
Oh, sorry.
Talking about me.
No, they talking about me, about you having a nice rack on me. Okay, go.
What?
See, you don't be paying attention.
I do.
What sets the standard for you? The standard of forgiveness.
If it's something that I can't, this has been bothering me, and I'm like, I gotta get this out of the way. I gotta, some things are small, and you're like, whatever. But if it's something that's like, say you got to see this person every day or often, you're like, you gotta like work out something.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna start fighting at some point.
Do you think family issues are tougher to deal with than...
Because you see them a lot more.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm working through one right now. So, yeah, you see them more, and it sometimes your issue affects other family members.
Yeah, it does. Now, why you say that? Why? How does it?
Like, a mother doesn't want to see her children fighting each other. And so that might hurt the mother.
Yeah.
So you got to work it out. If you love your mother, you got to work it out.
So. Yeah. You right. I think...
Because it's like, even if you don't want to, what's more important? Your mother's happiness or you beefing with a sibling who eventually you're going to make up with. So.
Well, hopefully before it's not too late, because life is short. Anything can happen. Like, people just dropping like flies these days. You just never know. Right. You want to kind of take care of that before something happens to either one of you.
Right.
Do you have a comment?
Yeah, I'm trying to read it on here. It just ain't came up yet. Let's see if I can read on that. Forgiveness is for me, not for the other person, although it may take time for me to get there.
Yep. Definitely for you to release that. Just like I was saying, like with that stuff that I feel like, for me, some people, they can hold grudges. Like you mentioned, you can hold grudges. I know my little sister, she a Capricorn. She could hold grudges like a mug. And I'm like, I just cannot. I can't do that. I need to have a conversation. So I have a little ritual for forgiveness. So like I have like these checkpoints throughout the year. Mm-hmm. So like around springtime, spring cleaning, I do a check-in. And then my birthday, October, I do a check-in. And then, I don't know, it's kind of weird, but I do it like in December too, around New Year or so.
Oh. Like a wellness check or something?
Yeah, I do a check. I ask myself, hey, is there anybody you need to... How are you feeling, Crystal? You feeling okay? You a little bummed? Is there anybody you need to forgive, that you need to talk to? Anybody been getting on your nerves? Right. You know, how we gonna work it out? Right. And I did have to go through that. We had a big family thing that went down a few years ago. And before I went into my birthday, I had to call a few people and say, look, this is what I liked. This is what I did not like. And this is how I feel about it. Right. So the relationship has not been the same between me and my family members, but it's something that we're working towards. I think that was a good initiation. Mm-hmm. But I think that communication, open and honest communication, is helpful.
Anisha said, I'm learning that forgiveness is a process. It's not something I can say, okay, I forgive you and be done with the situation. It's something that I have to continually choose to do.
Yeah. Yep. Just like I said, like I forgave them. You know, I forgave them, had that conversation with them where I'm like, okay, cool. You know, I released the emotional attachment, but we still not cool like that. Like, you got to rebuild that relationship. You got to rebuild that, because now it's not the same.
Sean said, I hold grudges. If we beef, we beef forever. And I can't say the last part. Hey,
you got that from Cardi. Wasn't that Cardi B that said that?
I don't know.
That was Cardi B.
Listen to Cardi B.
I'm telling you, that was a Cardi B line.
Hey, some people can't let go of grudges.
Yeah, I can't live like that. Mm-hmm. I feel like when I'm harboring some issues like that, unforgiveness, I feel like it blocks my blessing. I don't feel like I have a clear connection to God the way that I need to have it when I have those.
So again, if somebody, say that person got hit by a truck in front of you, what you gonna do?
I'm gonna call the police. I'm gonna call the ambulance. I'm gonna
Snapchat at least.
No,
hashtag laid out. Hashtag ain't gonna make it.
You stupid.
Hashtag where your other leg at.
Hashtag wait, let me call somebody. Right. You're a horrible person. Oh my gosh. So, do you feel like you always have to forgive family?
Yeah, because you only get one family.
Mm-hmm. Now, how do you define family? Do that?
No, like your blood.
Okay.
You can forgive family. You just don't have to deal with them. You're like, I forgive you. Just stay away from me. That's all you have to do. I forgive you, and for me forgiving you, all I ask is you stay the hell away from me. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, because I'm gonna do something to you if you're around me. Mm-hmm. So I can forgive you. Just get away from me.
JC says, just let it go.
Just let it go.
Yeah,
that's good advice. Forgiveness can be like holding resentment towards someone, and that's like peeing on yourself. You're the only one that feels that the other person is going on with their life. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Yeah. So have you been in the reverse where you've had to ask somebody to forgive you?
I apologize.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in a situation where I apologize, like, I'm sorry, I hurt you. And it's like, if I see they weren't trying to hear it, I'm like, all right, whatever, I'm out. Like, I'm not going to beg you. And like, if I genuinely am sorry, I can't make you forgive me. You can't make anybody forgive you. If you're genuinely sorry for something, I'm sorry I hurt you. I'm sorry I did this. It was not my intention. I apologize. And that person's like, just looking at you. All right, man, I'm out. There's nothing else you can do. You got it off your chest. You manned up. You said what you need to say, and that's up to them at this point.
Mm-hmm. So you just make one attempt and that's it?
Huh?
You just make one attempt?
I make one. I'm not finna beg nobody. The only thing close about some of me and my family is DNA. I hear you. I really hear you. I'm at that point sometimes.
So that's what I'm asking. Like, your family, like, are you saying that family is your immediate family, or is family extended family, and you feel like you also have to forgive them?
I mean,
that I feel like that level of love is a little bit different.
You can like your immediate family, of course, it's different, but it's like, yeah, you can forgive people. You can like generally get it off your chest, but just just leave me alone. Just get away from me. And if you don't want to forgive them, that's up to you too.
What'd she say? Oh, did you hear that already, Danisha?
Yeah, because I had a situation where a cousin is beefing with my sister, and he said something to the fact where, like, I hope I never see that again. I look dead and I say, if God forbid when the day comes and she passed away, if you shed one tear, I'm punching you in your face. And I said it just like that. And he was like shocked that I said it. I'm like, don't be boo-hooing saying I should have did this, I should have did this. You have a cell phone. You have Facebook. It's on you. So don't boo-hoo and miss somebody when you had a chance to say what you felt and to get something off your chest.
Yeah. Yeah. My sorors are on. Hey, soror, Tabitha and Rosa. Hey, y'all. Hey, Kenan.
Thea said, I'm like Maya Angelou. When people show you who they are, believe them, forgive, and move on. Just move on. Like, you don't have to deal with people.
So what does it mean, or do you agree with this statement? Forgive. Hold on. What is it? Forgive. I forgive you, but I won't forget it.
No, I totally agree with that. Like, if somebody stole money from you, you can forgive them for that, but you're not going to put them anywhere near your money ever again.
Right. Because you don't forget.
Yeah, I'm not going to forget what you did. But yeah, it's cool. You got me. You got me the first time. You got me for that $250. It's not going to happen again.
Is that true forgiveness?
That is true forgiveness. It's just being smart. It's being smart. Like, why would I, like, I let somebody steal, say you let somebody steal your house and you go to work and you come home and some money missing. And you know for a fact the money was in the house. Come to find out, pretty, I got you. I got you for the $200. That's cool. All right. I'm not gonna forget it. I'm not gonna let you stay at my house no more. I'm like, we cool, but you can't stay where my property is at. Yeah. I'm not gonna, like, I'll be stupid. You'll be stupid if you let somebody that stole from you stay with you again. No mess with my money or my family.
Okay. Yeah. Have you ever been in a situation where you had to forgive yourself?
Yeah. Yeah.
Care to share?
Just being like, just in general, just like, for just trusting the wrong people. I like, yeah, that was my fault. Like, I messed that up. And like, some small situations can turn into big situations because you gave somebody the benefit of the doubt and they screwed you over, and that had a ripple effect.
Yeah. Sometimes we could beat ourselves up, beat ourselves real bad. Yeah. If we not at a certain place, because sometimes I get mad at myself. I get mad at myself because I'm like, I've been trying to lose weight for like some years, and I'll go up and down, up and down. Like I get low, get to like 180, 190. I'm like, oh snap, let me get some fried chicken, Uncle Remus, mild sauce, period. Then I have Uncle Remus maybe 3 times a week, maybe I have it a little bit too much. And so then I get upset at myself because now I have to, now my weight goes back up. And I'm like, dang, like, how come I just couldn't stay the course? Just stay the course, Chrissy. And I get mad at myself sometimes about that. Same thing with business. Sometimes we get lazy as entrepreneurs sometimes. And we don't reach the goals that we feel like we should be at, that point of success in our heads. And so I beat myself about that sometimes, but I forgive myself, and I'm learning. My mom said something so powerful today that's also in the Boss That Breakthrough. But just trusting your journey. And she says to be okay with where you are and be grateful for where you are in your journey, and in all things get understanding. Right. So it doesn't matter. Like no matter what goes on in your life, like there's a reason for it. There's a purpose for it. Mm-hmm. That's how I feel. So even if my weight go up and down, it's a reason for it. If I'm not where I feel like I should be in my business, there's a reason for it. Mm-hmm. And so if I can just be grateful for where I am, then that's that.
Yeah. I gotta forgive myself. Like a lot of things, people have a tendency like, man, you work hard, you work, you out there grind. Like a lot of times, believe it or not, I don't think I'm working hard enough.
Yeah,
it's like I feel like I should be not sleeping. Yeah. like that's the way I feel a lot of times. Like I don't feel that I haven't worked nearly as hard as I should be working.
Yeah. See, real quick, Keenan says self-forgiveness is important in moving forward. And he also says, hey sis, hey bro, hey Keenan. Mm-hmm. But to your point, Jay, see, it is so weird because a lot of times we have that self-critic, mm-hmm. and we're so hard on ourselves, because when I look at you, I told you that earlier today, and I look at you, I'm like, this man is a freaking genius. Like Jay Davis, Jay is the bomb. So y'all know Jay Davis, and then I know his real name. I know Jay for being Jay. And no matter what aspect you are in, Jay, I'm like, this man is freaking brilliant. But you will be so hard on yourself. And then sometimes you'll look at me like that. Like, what's wrong with you? Like, if I'm beating myself up, Crystal, well, hello, right. Do you know who you are? So I think, so it's good to have those positive people around you, to kind of affirm, but also you affirm yourself too, to say like, yeah, I am great. I don't have to beat myself up so bad, and I'm okay. Because believe it or not, some people not where you at, and people not where I'm at either, and they still struggling way into their 60s and 70s.
Right. Now, you made a good point here, and I can relate to it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have had to learn to start forgiving myself for putting my goals, dreams, and health on the back burner and putting everyone else first. You do have to do that. Like,
come on, sis.
There's nothing wrong with helping people and being there for people, but you gotta take care of you at the end of the day. And I had to learn that too. I had to learn that the hard way.
That's called proper perspective, putting things in proper perspective. Yeah. You have to come first. If your goals and your dreams don't come first, then you cannot add to anybody else's stuff, because then you're working from a depleted cup. Mm-hmm. So you got to be able to add to your own stuff. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Forgiveness is our topic today. We talked about R. Kelly's interview with Gayle King. If fans should forgive R. Kelly or not. We talked about our thoughts around that. And we're just having a real open and honest conversation, because we have been experiencing a lot of lies within our Black celebrities over the past few weeks. And so yeah, we're talking about forgiveness on today. What?
Said, now I'm like, Puck dude and these kids, I gotta get mine. My bad.
Yes, Danisha, please share your your page, your fan page. Danisha is an amazing baker. She made some awesome stuff for Jay for his birthday, for me. For him.
I didn't get one cookie.
I didn't either, honestly. I didn't either. But yeah, her stuff went, and it went fast. And Jay and I did not get a chance to partake. But she is amazing. And she's a very sweet person, a beautiful person. So shout out to you, Danisha. And we wish you much success and wealth and love in your journey as an entrepreneur. Okay. Yeah.
You gotta get yours.
You gotta get yours. But I think that's important too. A lot of women go through that, where they put other people in front of themselves.
I got a friend, Lim Slaughter. He's a comedian. He called his kids Dream Snatcher 1, 2, and 3. But here's the feeling. He's a great comedian, and his son is actually at the NFL Combine right now.
Oh, cool. This weekend. So he's been doing this job. He's been doing what he's supposed to do, calling them dream snatchers. But yeah,
What? Yeah. So you gotta forgive yourself. You gotta, you don't have to forgive people, but it feels good to get that weight off your chest.
Yeah, it does.
Because you don't want to live your life wanting to punch somebody in the face. It's fun, but you don't want to live like that. Because they lock people up for that now. before it's camera phones, you used to punch somebody in the face and get away with it.
Yeah.
Like now
you can't do nothing.
Right. So you just can't do that anymore.
You can't do nothing with all the cameras.
Yeah. So especially people look for knockout videos, so you end up on World Star over $40. So you want ready to close? You got some announcements?
Yeah, so we do have an announcement. Last week we announced that we are using our platform to give back to the community. So Jay and I have an event coming up on May 10th where we're taking 20 people, the two of us included, so 18 people with us, to feed my starving children on May 10th from 8 to 9:30. It's really, really fun. It's real easy. You can bring your family out. It's free. All you have to do is drive over to Schaumburg and be there at 8 o'clock with us. If you are interested in going with us, make sure that you inbox me or inbox Jay so that we can get you on our list and we can have some fun and volunteer and give back. So we're going to be doing this. We have 3 events planned. So we'll let you know as they come up. But this first one is in May 10th. We're excited about it.
And bring some edibles. We can have fun.
We're not doing edibles, Jay.
We can have fun.
But you know what I was thinking? What I was thinking is we can do dinner before, or we can do like an after party with our listeners.
I don't want to hang out there.
Yes, you do. Jay, although Jay he'll have like a good hour in him before it's time to go to bed.
Oh yeah.
And then our event is 8 to 9:30, and then maybe Jay and I'll have a conversation about maybe we can do drinks or something or dinner. Depends on if we have too many kids coming or not.
DJ, I think said DJ volunteered there before. He really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's fun. It's really, really fun. Like it's almost like a competition. Like you can kind of break into teams and see who packed the most boxes. It's really, really fun.
And imagine how you would do on edibles. That would be really fun.
You wouldn't do nothing on edibles.
I would sleep.
Exactly. Be in the corner sleep.
With a box on.
Setting boxes, right. Sitting on top of boxes, laid out. Stop it.
Someone say edibles. So everybody, it's been a great show. So how can people follow you, stalk you, slide your DM?
So my book, The Boss That Breakthrough, www.thebossthatbreakthrough.com. You can purchase my book. It's amazing. And I really wanted to reach some people who really need help or guidance into more love, faith, and freedom. So if you feel like you are harboring some things like this that we talked about today on the show, forgiveness, trust, love, open relationships, or healthy relationships, I should say, is all in the book. how to manifest things. And I've been getting some good reviews on it. So if you care, www.thebossatbreakthrough.com is the website to order your book. You can follow me at I am Crystal Iris. And that's on Facebook and Instagram. Okay.
And Daryl, my barber said free R. Kelly. Pay his child support and then you can free R. Kelly.
People get on my nerves.
He's like, I'm not gay no more. What? Whoa, wait a minute. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, J Davis, J-A-Y Davis TP. Crystal Smoking. And tune in next week, same time to Be Honest Radio right here on IntellectualRadio.com.
Bye.